Since we are in this time where technologies and social media were used to communicate for easy and convenient transmittal of information, memo, news, and letters. So now, we will specifically dealing on email, where we can easily transmit messages or letter in various receiver or recipient. And we will also be dealing on email etiquette. Our learning outcomes are to define what is an email, identify the essential part of an email, use the appropriate language in writing emails, and learn the email policies and etiquette in writing email professionally. Using email is not that new to us. We use email to communicate to our instructor. Others use email for work. But what is an email? Email is a short term for electronic mail, a method of trading messages between people using electronic devices mail. Email is a message that may carry text, files, images, or other attachment sent through a network to a designated individual or a group of individuals. But to use email, you must already log in or create your account. Here are essential part of an email. 2. Where you put the email ad of the main receiver or the primary recipient to your message. For example, you want Juan de la Cruz to be your primary recipient, so you simply put his username for 2. CC previously meant carbon copy, but now it means courtesy copy, sent to a person other than the main recipient to keep them informed. For example, aside from Juan, you want Jella Martinez to be informed or to receive the message you sent to Juan. So you just need or simply to put Jella Martinez or Jella's username for courtesy copy. BCC or the blind carbon copy. Receive a copy of the email message, but this will be unknown to the other recipient. For the previous example, you put your sister's username in the blind carbon copy. Jella and Juan cannot see that you sent the email to your sister as well. Subject. A very brief topic sentence describing the content of the email body. Next, body. The actual content or message of the email. So now, since email is a powerful tool, we must know that the tone of the email is changeable or different in different recipient, if it is formal, intimate, or casual. According to Cambridge Academic Content Dictionary, the act of communication between two or more parties by exchanging letter is correspondence. Correspondence may be hard copy as in handwritten, typewritten, or encoded, or electronic. There are two types of correspondence or kind of correspondence: personal correspondence and business correspondence. Personal correspondence deals between peers, relatives, family, and lovers, while business correspondence deals between teacher to student, employer to employee. The main difference between these two is the content, subject matter, and the approach or degree of formality. First, personal correspondence. Personal correspondence, it includes sending a letter with intimate or casual material. Use the casual or intimate language register to write the content. For example, a letter of friendship, a letter to one's relative living abroad, and a letter of love. While business correspondence is formal and professional in both content and approach. One must be rigorous in including the necessary part of business letter and disciplined with the use of language. The relationship between the sender and the receiver does not affect the nature of their correspondence. For example, writing an application letter, a letter of approval asking the research participant if they are willing to participate in the research. As I've said, that business correspondence is, or the rule of business correspondence is that the relationship between the sender and the receiver does not affect the nature of the correspondence if the researcher and the participant to the research is friends. So even though there are friends, the researcher must be formal even though they are friends, since it's according to the rule of business correspondence. So other example is email to your instructor or colleagues. Creating email is not hard. To type a few words that you want to say, upload a file and click send. People believe that writing the content immediately and clicking send would do the job. This practice may be acceptable if you are emailing your family members or friends when you are simply wanted to message them. If you want to update what happened to your day, or there are good news you want to say or share. However, suppose you are writing an email to your instructor. You cannot simply type and click send, since formality must evident to the message. So email etiquette is referring to the principle of behavior that one should use when writing or answering email messages. Email etiquette help us what should we do to become writing email professionally. Here are some email etiquette or rules in writing email. First, input the recipient correct email address. One should be sure that the email address of the recipient is correct and active. You must check that the email address or the username to your recipient is active and correct, so that the message you want to send can be sent. Next, specify the subject line. Concisely convey your purpose in writing. Provide an appropriate subject for the email so that the recipient immediately knows to the point of the message, especially if ang imo recipient is a busy person. Salute your recipient. Part of the letter we say, Dear Mr., Dear Miss is what we call salutation. Next, begin by greeting simply. It is simply considered courteous for a sender to greet the recipient. You just simply say, Good day, sir. Good morning, sir. Good day, mom. Good morning, mom. Next, introduce yourself. It is important to introduce yourself first if it is your first time writing to your recipient. You just simply state your name, the company or institution you are affiliated with. But if you are a student and you want to email your instructor, you can simply state your course, schedule, and offering number, and you must also include the purpose of why you are writing the email. Next. Be as concise as possible with the main body. It is advised not to be too wordy as needed. However, there must be necessary details. If your recipient is a busy person, you must direct to the point. Next, keep font classic. Email should be legible for other people to read. It is advisable to generally use a 10 or 12 point type and an easy to read font such as Arial or Times New Roman, while black is the safest choice for the font color. Resist emojis in email. Research reveals including emojis in work email is terrible for reputation. But if ang email recipient is personal, or you just simply wanted to email your family, friends, peers, or lovers, you can put some emojis. But if your correspondence, or you want to send email to your professor, instructor, employer, you must avoid to put emojis because they do not have any effect on how friendly you seem. Say a graceful goodbye. The closing or concluding statement is a part of your content where you say certain words in the last part of your letter. For example, thank you very much for taking the time to read this letter. Next, complementary close. There are two different kind of writing complementary close. In personal correspondence, since it's a casual or intimate approach, you can simply write sincerely yours, truly yours, your son, your daughter, your mother, your sibling, your father, or forever loving yours in personal correspondence. While in business correspondence, since it is a formal approach, respectfully yours, and very respectfully yours are example of it. Signature line, where the sender type his full name, address, contact number, and his position beneath the title. It is very important to input signature line so that if dili ka niya makontak sa email, they can contact you through contact numbers or they can simply locate your address. And lastly, proofread every message. We read and reread the email several times, preferably aloud before sending it off. Double check the grammar and the spelling. And as a recipient as well, you must let the sender know that their message has been received. And consider as well the time and timing. It's very important. It's to consider the time and timing because it's not advisable to message the recipient in a late hours, in 10 p.m., 9 p.m., 8 p.m. because you invade their privacy, their time for themselves, for their family, and it's not a working hour na. The names that I've mentioned in this video are for example lang. Thank you.